Good morning. Welcome back to the Chemistry in the Age of AI, the Future of Drug Discovery and Design lecture series. I'm Shifana Sinu, and in today's lecture, we are going to explore the fascinating intersection of artificial intelligence and computational chemistry and how this partnership is transforming the landscape of drug discovery. Specifically, we will be looking at how AI helps design next generation molecules by predicting their drug likeliness, efficacy, and toxicity, speeding up the entire drug discovery pipeline. Now, before we dive into the specifics, let's step back for a moment. Drug discovery, as we have discussed in earlier lectures, is an inherently complex and time consuming process. The goal is to identify molecules that not only interact effectively with a biological target, such as a protein or enzyme, but also cross the blood brain barrier, stay stable in the body, and avoid causing any unwanted side effects. Achieving all this while minimizing cost and time is no small feat. Traditionally, computational chemistry has played a key role in predicting the properties of molecules, helping researchers narrow down their search for promising drug candidates. But with the recent advancements in AI, these tools have become significantly more powerful. Let's take a closer look at how AI is now supercharging computational chemistry in the context of drug design. At its core, computational chemistry is about using computer simulations and models to understand and predict how molecules behave, interact, and evolve. It is a way of simulating the behavior of atoms and molecules under different conditions, predicting their physical properties, binding affinities, and how they might react in a biological system. Traditionally, these simulations required a lot of manual input and were computationally expensive, making them more time consuming than ideal. However, AI is now making these simulations faster, more accurate, and more scalable. Machine learning algorithms can analyze massive data sets from molecular structures to experimental results and learn patterns that would be nearly impossible for a human to detect. These molecules can predict, for example, how a new compound will interact with a specific protein or how likely it is to pass clinical trials based on similar molecules. One of the key tools in computational chemistry is molecular docking. This is a technique used to predict how a drug molecule will bind to its target protein. AI has vastly improved this process by enhancing the accuracy of docking simulations, reducing the guesswork and time spent on testing. AI can also be used to refine docking protocols by predicting optimal binding modes and interaction that would be most beneficial for drug development. One of the first hurdles in drug discovery is determining whether a molecule is even drug-like. In other words, it has the property that make it suitable for therapeutic use. This include aspects like solubility, bioavailability, stability, and toxicity. This is where AI comes into play, with its ability to analyze vast datasets from both non-drugs and molecules that have failed. AI can predict whether a new molecule will have the characteristics of a successful drug. Machine learning models have been trained to recognize patterns in chemical structures that lead to desirable properties. For instance, deep learning algorithms can predict whether a molecule will dissolve in water, how it will be absorbed by the body, or whether it will interact with other drug targets that might cause harmful side effects. By predicting drug likeliness early in the discovery process, AI can help scientists focus on the most promising candidates and discard those that are unlikely to be viable. This process is often referred to as virtual screening, where AI can sift through thousands, sometimes millions of potential drug candidates, ranking them based on the likelihood of success. Another area where AI is making a profound impact is in optimizing the efficacy of drug candidates. Predicting how well a drug will work in treating a specific disease is a significant challenge, but AI is now helping bridge that gap. Machine learning models can be trained on historical data of drug target interactions, learning how certain molecular features correlate with the potent biological activity. For example, AI can analyze the binding affinity of a drug to a target protein and predict whether that interaction is likely to be strong enough to trigger the desired biological response. The reinforcement learning techniques, AI can even propose molecular modification to improve the drug's binding affinity, targeting specific mutation that might make the target more or less responsive to the drug. What is particularly exciting is how AI models can learn from not just chemical data but also biological data. such as gene expression profiles or proteomic data. This means AI can predict not only how well a drug works at the molecular level, but also how it might behave in the context of different patient populations. This opens the door for a much more personalized approach to drug design, tailoring molecules to the genetic makeup of individuals or specific populations. Toxicity remains one of the biggest reasons why drug fails during development. The cost of testing for toxicity in vivo is high and it's a major hurdle to bringing new drugs to market. Traditional methods often rely on animal testing, which can be time consuming and expensive. But AI is changing the game by offering predictive models that access the toxicity of compounds based on their chemical structure. By analyzing non toxic compounds, AI model can identify structural features that correlate with the toxicity, enabling scientists to modify molecules to reduce harmful effects before they reach clinical trials. AI is also used to predict off-target effects, which can help avoid drugs that might interact with unintended biological targets and cause side effects. This not only makes drug discovery safer, but also helps researchers prioritize compounds that are less likely to exhibit toxic properties. In turn, this reduces the number of compounds that need to be tested in preclinical studies, saving both time and resources. What is most exciting about this AI driven revolution in drug design is how AI and computational chemistry complement each other. AI can analyze and learn from large datasets, where computational chemistry helps to simulate and visualize molecular interactions. Together, they create a powerful synergy that allows for faster, more accurate predictions and more effective drug design. For instance, AI can help optimize molecular docking simulations by predicting the most likely binding modes and interactions. Computational chemistry can then model in more detail, or AI can predict the toxicity of a compound, allowing computational chemists to run simulation on how the compound might behave in the body to validate those predictions. This integration of AI with the traditional computational chemistry tools enables drug discovery to move from a trial and error approach to a more predictive and efficient process. In conclusion, the integration of AI with computational chemistry is paving the way for the next generation of drug discovery. By using AI to predict drug likeness, efficacy, and toxicity, researchers can now design molecules with greater precision, ensuring that only the most promising candidates move forward in the development pipeline. As AI continues to evolve, we can expect even more accurate prediction, faster development timelines, and smarter drugs that can be tailored to individual patients. The fusion of AI and computational chemistry is not just speeding up drug discovery, it's also making it more intelligent, more personalized, and ultimately more successful. Thank you for joining me today. Stay tuned and see you next time.